Good morning, welcome to today's RC Coffee Chat. Almost gone and very lukewarm. Right, what's on the topic list for today? I've still got that huge box in my office, and if you knew what was in there, you'd be shocked that I haven't opened it up yet. Yeah, that requires a special video all of its own, and I didn't get round to doing it yesterday, so I'll try and do it today if I can. Yeah, very, very special box. Next up, we've got cheap small motor, which I found, and a keychain camera, which I noticed on sale. Oh yeah, I can't tell you what I wrote on there. It's lots of swear words. There's a jumper which has arrived, which I'll show you in a minute. It's just hilarious. We've got an update on the mini-talon build. I've got parts of the mini-talon kicking around my desk, so I'll give you like a quick insight of my progress with that so far. What else are we going? Oh, I'm going flying this morning, and we'll go through the models which I've got lined up. So let's go right back to the beginning. And the huge box. Now, I know what's in here, and if you knew what was in here, you'd be shocked that I haven't opened it up yet. Now, I'll let you into a little secret. I have already had a nose in the back of it, but that will spoil the unboxing video for it. So I will get that out on the desk and do an unboxing video of this one later today. Well, there's two models in here and I think some goodies as well. So yeah, I've got a special unboxing episode for this. It's absolutely crazy, and I've just been on a buy and bender on Hobby King, which that's what I missed out on my list over there of a collection of kit just for the models which are in here. So yeah, you'll find out about that box in a day or two ish. Next up, oh yeah, small motor and a keychain on camera for sale. So I was in Banggood's flash deals. I noticed there's a Racerstar motor, this one. And also, those of you looking for a little HD camera, the 808 one, which, to be honest, isn't the best camera in the world, but come on, for 15 quid, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Craig uses that, and that's what I'm going flying with this morning. And Craig uses that on his models, and the video footage is brilliant. Considering the cost of it, it's nuts. I'll put links to those in the video description for you, and you'll notice that I've already got one of these in my cart. Okay, I'm actually going to go and buy two of these. I know they're only rated 2S to 3S, but I thought they were really good value at like £3.84. Yeah, tiny little thing, and it comes with a prop adapter, which I was kind of shocked by, because normally with the cheaper motors you don't get them, and it's 2200 kV. So actually 2200 kV to me in my head means like a 6-inch prop, which we've got there on the Wings Z84. So yeah, didn't think that was bad value for money, so I'm going to go and grab two of those. No idea what model they're going to go on, but I'm going to go and grab a pair of them because they look pretty cheap, and the first one I'll probably burn out on 4S. So you know, but for like under 4 quid, it's just nuts, absolutely nuts. Right, move. Oh, let's go and do the jumper. This was hilarious. So I don't know if you remember me talking about this in another coffee morning. Is that I bought a really nice hoodie, which is what I thought was a really nice hoodie off Banggood. And let me just try and put this on for you. And look at the hood. The reason why I bought it was because it had a wraparound hood, which obviously I'm follically challenged, and if you go and try and stick this on, I'm not the biggest of chaps, but it's a bit tight round the middle, but the hood's well cool. So I told the wife, and now she's now claiming it. Oh. So yeah, bit of fun for that one. Oh, battery's charged. Must be a flying day. Yeah, so it said large on it. I don't know what's going on there, to be honest. Either I've got fat or the size measurements are completely wrong. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to give that one to the wife. What can you do? Anyway, moving on to the Talon build so far. Right, Talon. I've got semi-far, about the furthest I've got with it, and remember this model's been sat here for absolute ages, so any progress is good progress. I've gone for the Tower Pro MG90S servos. They're all hot glued in. I've put them in the wings as well. Yeah, I did the equipment which they provided. The control horns were absolutely shocking. So I've put my own in there, and again, though I don't know if you can see those up on the camera. Those ones, well, the ones which come with the extra like little control linkage are very, very good. So those are the ones which I've elected for mine. I've also CA'd them in as well. I also never trust anybody else's gluing, and I'll point that out on the wing in a moment for you as well. So the rods, the carbon, I presume they're carbon fiber rods, or no, actually that looks like glass. Excuse me, looks like glass fiber. I have put an extra layer of CA. Excuse me. By the way, I leave all these edits in for these RC coffee chats, so if you hear me coughing, apologies in short. So I've been and put some extra CA on those just to stiffen them up, and I am waiting when I go meet Craig later on the flight line. He's got a roll of clear laminate there for me, and I will be laminating all the parts for the mini-talon as well, just to give them extra strength and also durability as well. So I've done the two because it's a V-tail, which is very peculiar. I've never owned a V-tail before, so that's going to be fun. I don't even know which. Oh, I think it goes that way round, something like that. So yeah, very cool. Never owned one of those before. I think I know how the V-tail works, but we'll soon find out whether it goes splat or not. No, I'll look it up on YouTube. So when it comes to the wings, oh, that glue's not set yet. Is talking of gluing, I don't know if you can see down here on, I mean, I'm trying to look down there on the desk on the camera. What I did notice in this joint here is that there wasn't enough glue in it, and it was flexing, which I wasn't that impressed about. So I've just dropped a bit of CA glue down there for sanity, and these wings will get laminated as well. Now, before I laminate them, I did want to just point out what my intended layout for the components are. And by the way, if you've got any tips or suggestions for the layouts, or you think my layout, which I'm about to show you, is completely wrong or is fatally flawed, please let me know. Okay, this is one of the benefits of running a coffee chat every single morning, is together we can work together to try and work out some decent placement or get over some of these challenges. So I've got the mini-talon up on my screen. I wonder if I can zoom in a bit. There we go. So my intended layout is like so. What I'm going to do is on the right wing is put in the L9R receiver. So like you saw on the Phantom a couple of days back, I'm going to embed the receiver in the wing and then have the antennas coming out on the right wing as a fork. Okay, so they're going to be in there on the left hand wing. On the right hand wing, I'm going to have the video transmitter over there. Okay, on that one, and again I'll work out the balance on that as well. I don't want to, I know the video transmitter is heavier than the receiver, so I'll weigh them both up, and I'll probably put the receiver in, because that's the more awkward one, in the wing, then work out where the balance point is on it, and then go back and then put in the put in the video transmitter in the other wing, and then match the balance point, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's my planned route for that. So we got the receiver in one wing, we've got the video transmitter in the other wing. Then when it comes to the GPS and magnometer, which is GPS and compass for the Vector, so that little unit, what I was going to do was mount it up on the fuselage near the nose. So let me just grab the front fuselage. The spot which is taking my interest is in this area here, this little flat piece here. So you have the flap which comes in, and I was going to put the GPS up there. Now the only thing which is, there's only two things which can make some noise down here. we would have the camera and maybe a little server down on the front out here for the run cam and the FPV camera. We do have the batteries being stored underneath there, which at the moment, I'll get onto the topic of batteries in a moment. But that is the location which I was thinking of putting the GPS unit, was right here in this little spot here. So over on the, let me put this down, over on the screen is on this flat area here. I don't see that, excuse me, I don't see that servo in the front being particularly noisy. The camera's not very noisy itself, the same for the run cam. It's the batteries, the cabling's going that way, if that makes sense, and there is a couple of inches height difference. So yeah, that's my plan. So does that sound good to you? Is that the layout which you would go with? I know there's a hole back here for, I presume, a UHF receiver on the back, but that always scares me because the motor's just right there, and you've got your ESC in there as well. Oh, talking of ESCs, I am kind of half tempted for the ESC to actually have it up here on the top, okay? Let me just draw that on the screen for you. Back here where that little divot is, I am really tempted to make it so that the ESC is actually mounted up on the top of here for that maximum airflow, because when you see the piece of wood which goes in, there is a hole at the front and an exit hole for the air, but then the ESC, which is just going to be floating around down at the back of the model, it's just got no airflow over it at all. So I am seriously considering mounting this speed controller up on the top as well. And on the topic of the speed controller is that I won't be causing myself a problem, because the motor sits, let's see if I can get this the right way around for you, see if you can see this on the webcam. So the motor will be sat up there like so, and the thing is that cable isn't that long. So imagine trying to get your fingers back in there at a later day. At the moment, access is brilliant because we've got access to the whole fuselage, but later on, if we wanted to change the motor or change the speed controller, whatever, anything like that, is that I'm pretty much screwed. So what I'm going to do is make a couple, like a 4-inch lead extender to go in there and bring that so that up here, so I can spit my words out, let's explain what I'm meaning. So the motor wires themselves, I'll make some 4-inch, 5-inch extensions for them with some nice decent quality cable, and then I'll still use the push connectors on here, and then put shrink wrap, shrink tubing in on top so they don't ever move, and then drag them down further down the model. So it just makes maintenance on the model a lot simpler. So yeah, that's my plan so far. So let me just quickly recap what I've just been saying. Is receiver on the right wing, video transmitter on the left wing, GPS up here on the front, on the top of the fuselage, where the top flap kicks in, the ESC on the top for maximum airflow, and the motor in the back with extension leads on, so it makes like maintenance going in for whatever reason a lot easier later. And the other one is that I have glued up the cage last night. That was CA'd together. I will put some hot glue, and again I made this little floor on the bottom as well. I don't know if you can see that on there. Before it was just an empty cage, and yeah, I wish they made this so that it had a wooden plywood base, but it didn't come like that. So I've made a double floor in there as well, and I will run round the inside with the mini hot glue gun and just glue around those edges. And also because, frankly, I'm really paranoid, I will be running just a little dab of goop glue over each of the side joints as well. And the reason for that is that if for whatever reason, maybe in an unscheduled landing, that we have such an impact which forces the CA to crack, is that the goop glue is like a rubberized glue and it will still have its strength in there. So I will just quickly rub those over with a little dose of goop glue as well. So yeah, that's my little mini cage for the sensor section, and I've got this false floor in there, of course, for the vector to go in, and then the other components too. So that's my mini-talon. Have a quick look to make sure I've covered it. Cage with arms, solder with extensions, make extensions. Oh yeah, I won't be using extension leads for the, because all the servos are all too short. The leads, excuse me, all the leads are too short. So I will be soldering in my own extensions for them. So rather than just using just extension leads, which maybe I would have used in another model, what I'm going to do in this instance is actually solder in extension leads for them. So both the wing servo leads are too short. They need another about 6 inches on top of them, and the same for the tail servos as well. I will be putting extensions in for those as well, and run them up so they go at least into the middle, maybe a little bit further. And of course, if they're too long, I can just cable tie them back around. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for the servos. Oh, and of course, which it was on my desk here somewhere, which I can't, oh yeah. Oh, and then for the nose area, that's the 3D printed platform which I've made. I do need to dig that servo out and see what that's like. I did print out the top platform for this, and it's way too small. So I do need to get into SketchUp later and make a bigger platform so that I can fit both the run cam on there. And I will be using Runcam Swift. I will be using the Runcam Swift, which GearBest sent me as well. Big hat tip to GearBest. The F Swift is a fantastic camera. It's kind of like a no-brainer to use in a model like this. So yeah, I'll be using the Runcam Swift on here, and then of course the Runcam 2 sat on the side as well. I don't know which arrangement which I'm going to go for. Do I do for a stacked approach, so the Runcam goes inside, or do I go for a side-by-side? To be honest, I'll probably go for side-by-side because it's just the easiest to do. So yeah, that's the front. That's pretty much the major overview to the mini-talon. I'll get it built up over the next couple of days. I am wondering if I've chosen the right motor. I will be using an NTM prop drive 2836 1400 kV. So that's the motor which I've got in my hand. That is the motor which I was intending to put in the mini-talon. So what else have we got on the lineup for this morning? Apologies, today's episode is going to be a slightly longer one, so let's have a quick slurp of coffee. Now, I am going flying this morning. The model lineup for today, I am taking the Chuck glider with me as well, just for shits and giggles. Both of the Texumos, the 3S and the 4S, are coming with me. I did fix I had a dry solder joint on one of the motor connector wires, which it wasn't the manufacturer, it was actually my soldering, which was the issue there, because she would absolutely cane it through the air, and then like the motor would just stop and then just get back in again. Yeah, very peculiar. And then I just wiggled all the wires, and that one's a dry one. And then when I went to do it, I just pulled it a touch and it fell out of my hand. So it really was on the end of its life, that solder connection. So I've solved that one. The Wing Z84, she has definitely seen better days. I don't know if you can see the purple stains on here. That's where I've had to use meths to get the servos back out, because I hot glued them in. And I don't know if you know the story behind this one, which is that the 2 original servos had got blown by the Hobby King ESC. I didn't know it was the ESC and put 2 brand new servos in it, and they both promptly went and then stopped working completely. So I then had to put another 2 servos in into her, but she's now ready to fly. Let me give you a little peek inside. Yes, that is a 60 amp ESC sat in the back of there, because this model is now capable of running both 3S and 4S. Oh, she's gonna rip this guy a new one. Yeah, so that's going to be fun later. Oh, my Mini Hornet FPV flying wing, that one's coming to with me today, the same as the Raven. If I'm frankly honest, I'm not that impressed with the Raven wing. It's got the same motor as what I've got in the Wing Z84, and it can run 4S, but yeah, I don't know. My views may change later today, and the reason why it may change later today is because we're taking those air gates up. Those tubes which were taken up, we're going to craze coming up as well, so we'll have a stab it flying through them. So yeah, that's pretty much the topics which I've got today. Oh, I did put a Hobby King order in, but it's not that exciting. It's just basically motors. Oh, there was one thing which I did want to point out, which was that one there. I did buy that for poops and giggles, just for a laugh, really, to be honest, because it was only like 12 quid. And I bought some more micro servos, and that did look like fun. And I really do hate balsa models. It just normally takes so much time to build, but battery's charged. Is that they do? It is a kind of little, tiny little model. Could be good fun for flying out the front. Don't know yet. I think that's what they've got on there. I think they've got their set up for a rudder and elevator, but because I'm so used to bank and yank, I think I will end up mounting a servo on the top for the ailerons as well. It doesn't look particularly big, and it is labelled as a micro indoor model. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what to add. My expectations are not high on both counts. Number one, the size of it, and number two, its longevity. Because it's made of wood and like flying, and it will end up having to land mostly on tarmac, so on the drive. So I don't know how long that one's going to last, but for 12 quid and a bit of fun, who cares, you know? Right, so on that note, apologies, it has been a long episode today. In fact, no apologies. We've had a lot to cover with the Wings Z84, the Talon. We had like an overview to the Talon. Remember, going back to that screenshot, back to the screen. If that layout of components does go, oh my god, that's mad, Matt. If you can suggest any better, I would really like to hear from you. Or if you think my logic is good, do let me know in the comments section underneath this episode, because I think that's like the 4 points covered on here. So receiver on the wing, video transmitter on the opposite one, ESC and motor, the two noisy components back here. Again, the ESC mounted up on the top for maximum airflow and cooling, because there really isn't any cooling down the back of that motor. And then the GPS and compass up here on the front of the nose. That's like, I've not seen anybody else like really take that kind of layout. I've seen people put stuff in wings, but I haven't really seen anybody put their ESC up there or put the compass on the front. But for me, that kind of makes like the most sense, because that's like a big diamond, and everything which is potentially noisy or could interfere with each other is all at like the maximum extremities. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway. So with that said, I got to go and get a load of kit ready, and I need to be in the car within 50 minutes. So on that note, for myself, Matt, thank you ever so much for joining me this morning for a RC coffee chat. That really is stone cold. If you're out flying today, do chuck a battery in for me and rag the nuts off it. So on that note, for myself, Matt, cheerios.